These simple orange peels add great texture to the quilt, and the best thing, there's no marking required. Come join me and I'll show you how. Hey guys, welcome back to Frances Quilts. Well, today we're going to continue with quilting on this simple charity quilt that I've been working on for a while. As we've gone along, we have learned a square spiral, we have done some dot-to-dot work, and we have learned how to quilt this fun design just by marking 21 dots on our fabric. Today we're going to be moving on to these rectangles right here. There's 4 of those in each of the center of this block, and I've got an idea for a simple way to do this, again with very little or no marking. So let's head to the machine and get started. All right, we are now ready to sew these 4 rectangles right here. I want to do all 4 of them in one go. I don't want to have to break thread in between any of those places. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do a flying geese here, from here up to here and back down. But rather than just leaving it at that, I'm going to also do some arcs in here. And if I plan it right, I don't have to break thread at all. So if I come from here and I come up to here with a straight line, and then I arc back down here and back up here, then I can come here, back up here, back down here, and now I'm ready to do the next one. So it should work very easily and quickly, and let's just start with it. Now my first thought was that I was going to mark these center points right here on each one of these, but honestly I'm trying to do as little marking as possible, so I figured out a way that I could do it. I'm sort of eyeballing it, but at the same time there's some markings on my ruler that I can use to help me figure out exactly where I want to be. So let's get set up to quilt. All right, first step is going to be a straight line from here to here. I am going to use my straight line ruler. This is Slim from Angela Walters, my favorite obviously. Now I could have trouble figuring out exactly where I want this line to go. There's a lot of options there. But if I look at some of the other markings on this ruler, I can use those to help guide me. Let me show you what I mean. You see this line right here, I don't know if you can see it, right here, is a 45-degree angle. So if I put it on here so that it's lined up with this, I can be pretty sure that when I stitch from here up to here, I'm going to be very close to hitting that center. So again, this is lined up with my edge. It doesn't have to be all the way over here. You could do it here, and you could just eyeball that this line is lined up with this edge right here. So let's quilt that first line. Stop, push that ruler away. Now I'm going to do an arc from here back to here. It can be a pretty good size arc. I want to fill in as much of that area as I can. So I'm going to arc back to here and then back the other way. Now I hope you're being able to see that. I know it's green on green, but I really didn't want to use another color except green in here. All right, now I'm ready to come back from here to here. I'm going to use my ruler, and again, I'm just looking to see that some of these diagonal lines, you see there's one down here, see that it is sort of lined up with this, with my stitching line there. Let's bring it down to the corner. And actually I didn't have to do this because I could take it straight down to the corner and know I was right. And then let's arc back up again. And back down. And off we go. From here to the center, let's find a diagonal line that I can kind of fit along here. There's one right there that will tell me. Now if I didn't want to have to keep moving my ruler, I could do it this way. I could go ahead and stitch both of those. Stitch both of those straight lines. And then just make all my arcs at one time, and that may be a faster way to do it. Arc up. Arc back out. Maybe I like doing that better. Let's do this next one. The first one is the one we're going to be lining up with the diagonal line on the ruler. So I've got my line right there. I'm going to line it up against the stitching line and stitch out. Now I don't have to worry about this next one because it's just going to stitch back to the corner. And then let's do our arcs. And one more to go. Let's turn it a little bit so that you can see it better in the video. So first line is my straight line. Let's find a couple of diagonals that I can kind of line up to see that it looks okay. I'm just kind of eyeballing this at this point. I'm going to come out to the center. Back the other way. Move this. All right, let's try this one more way, and I'm going to change my stitching pattern a little bit. The original one, I was stitching one of these and then getting rid of my ruler and stitching an arc, stitching another one, getting rid of the ruler. Then I tried, as you saw, stitching the two lines together and then stitching all the arcs. This time, let's stitch all of these lines from here to here, from here to here, across, get all of those in first, and then come back in and do all of our arcs in two passes around. I'm not sure it's going to be any faster or easier or look any better, but let's try it. Okay, we're ready to stitch. This time I'm using a longer ruler so I can make this line all in one go. Let's do it. Hit that point and come back here. And honestly, as long as I'm coming from this center and hitting this point right here, I don't have to worry too much about it being off. It should be in exactly the right spot. All right, straight lines are done. Let's start doing our curves. And I think I'm going to have to go around it 2 times. I don't think I can do curve here and back here because then that will always put me in the wrong spot. I want it to be continuous. So I'm just going to curve here and around and all the way and then go do the inside curves next. Let's go. Now let's do the inside curves. So there we go, all the way around it without having to stop. Let's get the rest of them finished. Wasn't that a great way to add a little bit of circle, a little bit of texture to this block? And best of all, we didn't have to do any marking at all. I love when I can quilt a fun design and not have to mark anything. Next, we're going to be thinking about these orange triangles and figuring out how those are going to be quilted. So come back next week for that. Now today I felt like I was a little hectic. Matter of fact, I know I'm a little hectic because things are busy with work and things are busy at home, and I knew I had to get this video done. Consequently, I didn't do my best quilting. If you notice, there were some places where some of those curved lines went outside of the rectangle, and I don't like that. But you know, honestly, I'm happy that it's finished, and sometimes just getting it finished is better than waiting until that moment that you can make it exactly perfectly right. Well, if you enjoyed this video today, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for joining me today, and as always, I look forward to seeing you next time on Frances Quilts. Remember, if you like what you've seen, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please check out my website and daily blog at francesquilts.com, and I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Frances Quilts. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.